So you one sec. You said you've been playing for about 4 years. You're back 6 months ago. You can't get out of 4.1. You decided to spam heroes around your weakness, like Pudge for knowing where to be, and Lycan for pushing opportunities. And then you have problems with not getting better because you're on autopilot a lot, right?
Exactly.
Right. So one of the things I want to point out is because you have experience, but you're back into the meta. One of the things I usually run into with students that are like that is they overvalue early kills. Because right now, the way that I look at it is, at least if you're laning, if you're position 4, it's different, but if you're laning, I almost don't care about kills at all, unless it's first blood, because the first blood gets the 200 extra gold. Because usually what happens when you, did you have a replay you wanted me to go over that I can download while I'm talking?
I don't know. I feel like
last
weeks of games has been garbage.
Well, I'm not, like, usually the games that you lose are better to look over than the games that you win. Because it's not that you played much better or worse, it's that you got punished for it. And when you get punished, it's like, here, you did this wrong, and then because of it, this guy did this. But if you won the game, it's usually, you did this wrong, and the other guy didn't fucking do anything about it. And then it's like...
I'm gonna find the less solo ranked Lycan game that I played.
Right. And also, I have 3 times games played of Pudge than I do any other hero, so if you want to go over Pudge, I'm your guy.
You know, I want to go over Pudge, but I don't know any replays. Let's see.
I'm sure you don't have to have, like, special replays that, like, particular things happen. That's, like, good to have, but it's not something you have to dig out, because I'm sure...
It's true, but also, I've had a rough week, and I feel like...
Were you throwing your games? Is that it?
Kinda.
Yeah, I got you.
I feel like I don't want to just sit there and cringe and be like, oh,
yeah, I got you.
This isn't really how I would learn from it, but I'm trying to think of a game that wouldn't do that. Let's see.
Alright. So what was I saying? Here, I'm gonna share my screen on Skype. What I was saying was, usually when you get a kill early game, when you're laning, what you do is you right-click the guy in the middle of your creeps and then you go kill him. But what that does is makes his creeps attack you while your creeps are attacking his creeps. And it pushes the lane, and by the time he gets back with his free TP scroll that he has, the towers, or the creeps are under his tower, and he's like, he didn't even lose anything, he just got a free creep wave. And unless it's first blood, then you get, like, what, like, 50 golden experience or some shit?
I feel like it's really hard. The reason why I'm not improving is because I can't pinpoint exactly why. I don't know what to do. That's the trouble. I feel like the early game is alright. I feel like about the time where everyone starts leaving the lanes, I don't know.
I got you. That's
too tired for this shit.
Yeah, I got you. So I'm gonna start with the early game anyways, because usually what that is if I don't fix your early game to, like, my standard, then you're gonna have problems.
My Pudge early game is probably garbage, so I'm happy to do that.
If you want to, yeah, we can go through this then, and if you do some throwy ass shit that's obvious, I'll just, like, ignore it.
Alright. Yeah, do that.
Your starting build is fine.
I almost exclusively just go Tranquil's Wonder, like, well, almost every solo game.
Okay, the Tranquils earn Wand. They're all good items, but there is a little bit of min-maxing that you can do with it, where if you're, like, snowballing super well, you can get the earn early, and then you can use that urn to get like 2 or 3 more kills that you wouldn't have got if you got the Tranquils instead. And then usually I like to look at Wand as if Pudge is the hero of the day, I'm a lot more likely to get it. But if he's not, it's kind of like usually an item I get if I'm behind or if they just have a ton of spells that they're casting.
I feel like it is just the nature of matchmaking, but oftentimes, okay, let's say 90% plus of my solo rank games are just Pudge. I went from 3.1k in September to 4.2k just before the medals came out.
Gotcha.
And that was just Pudge. Like I played Pudge and some Shadow Shaman, and it either goes like really, really, really well or kind of okay to bad. But
one of the
no
things.
in between, really.
Yeah, I understand. One of my opinions on Pudge, and again, I have a fuck ton of games on Pudge. Where is it? Yeah, I have more than 3 times played of my second most played hero, or my Pudge or whatever. One of my opinions on Pudge is I don't really like playing him in like party queue, where I'm playing in like 4 or 5k games, because people just won't do shit that they should do, essentially. I'll line up a hook for a last hit that somebody should be going to get, and they'll just not get it, and then I'll miss my hook by, like, this much or some shit. Like, it won't even be fucking close, but, it was a good hook, it's just the guy didn't, do what he was supposed to because he's, like, 3k or 4k or whatever it is.
I feel like I've spent probably half my time at Dota solo and half my time around much newer players than me, and I feel like I'm good with just, I guess you call it mechanical. I can hook.
Yeah.
Well, because I've played a lot of Pudge.
You know the mechanics, but you don't know the like theory and all of that.
It's just
the abstract,
like the macro, like where to be.
Yeah, I got you.
I always, it's always wrong Pudge, you know, and it's like, it's just hard.
Yeah, the thing is, I used to pick him all the time, before, probably like 6 months ago is when I got the most games played on him, and that was a different meta where, like right now the meta is, you pretty much have a roamer every game, and the roamers are pretty strong, like a Clockwerk or a Night Stalker or something like that. So when you for that, when you pick Pudge and they have another roamer, usually Pudge gets his ass whooped when he runs into another guy, alone, that is. So like if you're trying to like run around if you're trying to like run around and gank the Invoker like this way, and you run into a Clockwerk right here as Pudge, you're just kind of like fucked. But that wasn't really happening 6 months ago because they weren't picking very strong roaming heroes. So with that in mind, my opinion of Pudge is he's not. Or the other point is that position 4s or position 5s usually have to first pick. And I first pick my position 4 hero 90% of the game. Because if I don't, then the other guy that's going to support takes position 4. And I don't really want to go position 5 because I can do a lot more as a 4. So with that in mind, I have been leaning away from the position 4s that aren't good in a lot of situations, and Pudge is one of those. Like if they have a Mirana mid, an AM bottom, and then like a Puck off lane, you just can't do anything that in the entire early game. You can get a hook and then they can just not care. They take like maybe 300 damage, but you'll never kill them.
That's exactly it. It's every game I'm like, well, someone wants mid, someone wants safe lane, guess I gotta go position 5 or roam. That's fine. I take Shadow Shaman if I go position 5. I take Pudge. I always go first pick because no one else picks. So then I think
I would say then what you should be doing is
escape heroes.
you shouldn't be picking Pudge if you're first picking.
It's true.
My go-to for first picking is Clockwerk.
Yep.
I have a ton of Clockwerk games, unless like usually how I kind of think of it is unless there's another hero like today. Clockwerk is the mango hero, so I'm definitely gonna fucking pick Clockwerk if I play. But let's say he wasn't, and then like Night Stalker was, then maybe I'll pick Night Stalker because like Night Stalker's also a really good one, where at 4 minutes you get so much stronger that it doesn't even matter if they're just like Mirana, Puck, and AM, and you also have a silence, and there's not really any hero in the game that can just escape you when you have a mini stun, a long ass slow, and a silence and a mischance at 4 minutes in the game. And then Clockwerk is another good position for because unlike Pudge, if he doesn't get kills in the early game, he can still be helpful. Like very helpful throughout the whole game with like pushing out lanes with your level 4 rocket flare, hooking targets, cogging them back into your team. You can do a ton of shit, and his battery assault is kind of like Rot, where it slows the enemy down and it does a bunch of damage. But the thing with battery assault is it doesn't also damage you. So when Pudge rots somebody down, it's doing like it's basically not doing anything because you're taking 30 damage per second and they're taking 30 damage per second. So it's kind of like an ability that helps you and the enemy about the same. So unless they're running away. But battery assault just does a fuck ton of damage and doesn't do anything to Clockwerk. So Clockwerk's able to fight in crowds better. Like if you go into a 2v2 with a Pudge and you like run into it and you just start rotting both of them, they'll turn on you and kill you. But if you do that as Clockwerk, you can battery assault and then you can line up the cogs right, so you get one of them in the cogs and then the other one pisses off because you hit them with the cogs. So I would recommend, if you're first picking, try some more Clockwerk. And then I can definitely help you a lot with him because he's my recent like boy crush hero. So he's the one that I'm best at right now. And other heroes that I like to look at and see if I'm like second pick, and like let's say our team first picks a support and then they double pick and then I have the fourth pick, like overall, but the second pick for my team. Heroes that I look at for that are like Spirit Breaker, Slardar, Sand King, more Night Stalker, more Earthshaker, more Tusk.
Pretty much roaming strength heroes.
Yeah.
So good first picks.
Yeah, and then of course there's the Bounty and the Ricky, which are the agility heroes. And then, is there anyone for intelligence? Not too much, not really. But yeah, and then Kunkka also. It's just if you're in that position, you can counter pick a lot better because you know one hero that you can at least synergize with and two heroes that you can play against. And another thing about Clockwerk over Pudge is Clockwerk shits on anyone with channeling abilities, whereas Pudge only has like Pudge has to commit a lot to stop a channel with his ult or his hook, but this guy has this stopping 15 or thrown out 15 mini stuns. This has like you can get 2 or 3 off, and then you also have this. And Clockwerk's faster and has more armor early and all that stuff. So yeah, I would recommend trying some Clockwerk games, and then we can go over that in a later session. And we can start with the Pudge replay now, unless you have any questions on any of that.
I'm excited to see whether this is, one of the games where I kind of sit and leech off the off lane and be a general nuisance and bad player, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So the first thing I want to point out, there's actually 2 things, is Do you know that you can fill up your quick buy more than
Yeah.
just one item?
Asian.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I think it's just a bit of a weird week for me.
Alright.
Like I said, a bit throwy.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, that's a great thing to do, and just to like reinforce it, it's there's usually three main reasons that I recommend it. The first is if you like die, let's say you get in a fight with this.
Got out of mouse full to quick buy this.
Yeah, you get in a fight with this lion, and this void comes over. You kill the lion with your rot. The void comes over and last hits you. You can buy out like your windlace and not lose 50 gold or whatever. And then also if you're, what was that?
I feel like I'm good with like the little ins and outs of Dota.
Okay.
It's this, the big strategy. It's like what to actually do.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
all the little things.
I'll focus on that
Name
some more then.
Any damage on any. I'm the trivia master for the battle pass. So
Okay.
I know all the shit. I just can't play good.
I got you. So then the bigger picture is you shouldn't be standing here. There's nobody on their team that you can just kill from full to zero if they pop up right here, but they have the ability to kill you if they find you right here. Like,
Straight up, that's like something I don't even think about because it's like I stand there because there's plenty of times where I've just killed someone by riding them around the corner, but I don't even think, do they have anyone that's vulnerable to that?
yeah.
I'm just like, well, that happened before.
Okay, so that leads me to a really good thing that I can talk about that I think is like kind of exactly what you're coming here for. As a position 4, the things that you should be looking at in the game is kind of like what needs to happen in the game, like the overall. Look at your team, look at their team. What are the things that are going to happen and what needs to happen? Like, what is critical if we stop? What do we need to protect for us to get? Things like that. And this game, it's kind of the Invoker's Ags is like one of those. And your AM's Battle Fury, your Clockwerk getting level 6. Means that you guys can get a lot more kills with your Disruptor also, because you can hook somebody that's a little bit out of glimpse and then glimpse them, and then these guys have a really strong, when I draft I really like to pick these two together because they're very strong. Glimpse can give vision, or Rocket Flare can give vision for glimpse. Glimpse is basically a hook shot but better, because when you hook shot you're usually going into the enemy team, which is usually bad, but hookshot or glimpse is opposite, where you don't have to use this 70-second ult and they bring it back into your team. So basically when you get a few levels on your supports, you're going to be a lot stronger. Your early game is going to suck, but you guys have decent wave clear with the Zeus and the rocket flares. Things like this you want to be looking at. But the main things are breaking down the lanes into what you think they're going to be. So this game, you're going to have the Clockwerk off lane, the Zeus mid, the AM Disruptor safe lane, and then you have to predict what the enemy team's going to be doing. It's kind of wonky because they appear to have an off-lane Ember Spirit, which is just kind of like, sometimes they just fucking do something stupid. But this game you would assume Darkseer's basically always going off-lane, and Faceless Void's a better carry than either Ember or Invoker, so you can almost assume that Ember's going to go off-lane, just based off of Invoker definitely has to go mid, and Faceless is the best carry.
Oh shit. I think this is the game where Ember and Invoker fought over mid and then Invoker went to jungle.
Oh, nice.
That might be this game.
Okay. But yeah, going back to it, you need to look at what you think their lanes are going to be, and if you can establish that you think it's Void and Lion bottom, Invoker mid, and then Disruptor, or Darkseer Ember top, you're going to be kind of like, alright, I don't really want to be doing too much top, because AM's not going to help you too much with fights, and he just wants to get his farm, and they have 2 heroes, and you're kind of like, you don't want to be standing on somebody with Flame Guard and Ion Shell if this guy's thing is level 2, because it's going to take 200 health for you to rot down his Flame Guard, but you can rot down his level 1 Flame Guard really easily. So with this lane, I'm kind of like, alright, well, I'm looking at it like, I might go top, but the only reason that I'm going to go top is if, oh, Ember goes mid, you said, right?
Thanks.
Let's assume that he goes top, because that's like, if he wasn't throwing the game, that's what he'd be doing here. If he goes, what you would be looking at this lane for, you'd be like, alright, the only reason that I really want to go top is if somebody's like diving the shit out of my guys and I can just go like kill them, or if your AM's getting completely shit on and you think you going will at least distract him enough that your AM can start getting like some more last hits and get his ring of regen or health, whatever it's called, health, yeah. And then mid, it is a Zeus versus an Invoker. So, you can kill the Invoker, but what I would be looking for, because your Zeus isn't really going to help you too much with that, is you want it to be on your hill, because you're going to be providing all of the disables, and if he's right here getting last hits, then you can run like this and get on top of him, and then rot him down the whole time, and then like hook him right here and get more time on him. But if the creep wave's right here, he'll be already at the tower line, and he'll be able to go back into the tower before you even see him. And if you try to like get a hook over here, you're hooking him to the tower anyway, so it's kind of like...
It's Pudge.
What was that?
It's Pudge. That's Pudge.
Yeah. So what I would be thinking is, I want to stay bottom. I want to try and hook the lion into me and rot him down so my Clockwerk can kill the lion. And then from there, we can try to fuck with the void some. So it's a lot of looking at what needs to be done in the game, and your needs this game would be trying to delay the Invoker's Ags and trying to get your AM his Battle Fury as soon as possible. But if you can't really do that, it's kind of like, next you have to look at what you actually can do, and what you actually can do is kill this lion with your Clockwerk, or kill the Invoker if he is already at like 70 or 80%, and the creep wave is pushed onto your hill. So does that make sense, that concept?
Yeah.
And if you go into all of your games thinking about that, you'll know a lot more what you need to do, and instead of just kind of like reacting to the game, you'll be more like proactive and like creating things as opposed to responding.
It's as if I need I need to build a mental checklist of what I should be doing. Like, this is what needs doing. If that's fine, then I need to do this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A
priority list in my head, and I suppose I'll build that. Yeah,
and this is not like a 100% you're doing this and this. It's kind of like a so you know how like Dota, there's nothing that's like always correct. Like it's just all of Dota is basically a spectrum, and all it is like getting early boots is like in the first 5 minutes, it's on the spectrum of closer to being right a lot of the time. So with the checklist thing, it's the checklist is always good to have, but it's the things on the checklist are kind of like you're just moving a slider over, and that slider kind of like dictates your how do I put it? You're wanting to go do something. So like an example of that would be, let's say the Faceless Void and the Lion are diving your Clockwerk, and the Darkseer and the Ember are diving your AM. So if you realize that the first thing that you want to do is help this guy get his Battle Fury, you'll be like, I don't fucking care if this Clockwerk dies, and I'm not too worried about killing the Void or killing the Lion. then when they dive your Darkseer, or they dive your AM with the Darkseer Ember, you'll go up here and you'll save the AM. The Ember or the Clockwerk will die, but the AM gets the farm that he needs because you saw both of the situations, but you moved your sliders over so that you value the AM as the priority. Does that make sense? And that doesn't mean that you don't help the Clockwerk, it's just you know what's the most important thing that happens, and then if there's situations that arise, like maybe it's a 50-50, I can...
like GC Pudge and Clockwerk.
Yeah. If there's like a 50-50... You're kind of quiet. One sec, let me turn you off.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
It could be me.
I think
I've not fucked with any Skype settings. I don't know what there is. I haven't used Skype in years.
Right, here, let me...
Changed all the UI.
Alright, I think that should be fine.
Yeah.
What was I saying? So it's kind of like fuck. If there's like a 50-50 chance that you get a kill, top, and it's a like 55-45 chance you get a kill bottom, you might want to go top just because AM's something that is more important. So it might be the worst play in if you look at it on a smaller scale of going top because you're less likely to do anything, but if you do something, it's going to have much greater results.
Yeah.
So does all of that make sense, and is that kind of like what you're looking for?
Yes, in the right ballpark. Got it.
Alright, so yeah, let's go back to the replay then. Understanding that you don't have any business being here is another thing.
Yeah.
Maybe if they had like a Spectre and a, this is kind of like you're preying on your enemies being bad. And the higher you go up, the more this isn't going to work. So it's kind of like, this is one of those things that is going to make you plateau, because you're going to get to,
exactly.
Yeah, 4.1k, and it'll work.
I'm so glad you said it like that,
yeah,
because that makes so much sense to me right now.
You'll get to 4.1k doing this, but then at 4.5k...
I'm so good at preying on 4k.
Yeah.
That's it.
They'll kill you at 4.5k or whatever. And then you feed early, and then... why can't I gain MMR? And this is another...
It's almost like I'm exactly where I belong right now.
Yeah.
Pretty much the last 30 games I've gone win-loss, 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 win-loss.
Yeah, I mean, Dota's MMR thing works to the largest extent. I'm
pretty sure I just kind of be useless here. I'm just like, oh, I'm taking Clockwerk's XP, not really looking around, I'm just being pretty useless.
I would be like, alright, I'm kind of low now, and all I have is tangos. I'm going to regen up and go to a different lane, because it's usually, when you first show up to a lane, you have your most impact, because the enemy isn't expecting you to be there. Would you agree with that? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you need to regen before you do anything, so this is a good opportunity to go mid and see if you can like rot this guy down while he's still only level 2. And his Flame Guard only lasts for like one of this guy's nukes or whatever. It gets 4 times stronger at the next level.
Yeah.
So if you go right now, you have a lot better chance of either killing this guy or hurting him so much that it causes like a like if he pops his salve, then that's you can just like delete this from his inventory if you go mid right now and do it well, which is pretty, that changes how the lane's gonna go if he's just at like 500 health without a salve right now.
That's basically probably the only thing I've self-realized this Pudge is just like, you know, I am the nuisance. I will be a nuisance and make the enemies lose their lanes, and that's it. I don't care about the kills as much as, you know.
Yeah. That's a good thing to start getting into. It's another part of like the lower you go in MMR, the more people are like, oh, I didn't kill him, it didn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
And then another thing you should be doing right now is you see that the Invoker's not in any of the lanes. So what you could do while you're going to the Ember is run like this path.
I think I go one or the other.
Okay.
Within the next 30 seconds. Sure.
Okay, you get your level 2. I'd be leaving right now. I would have left right when I got my level 2 there.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You got the suicide, which is fine. I wouldn't have TP'd here.
Oh yeah, this is the game where I get first 4 deaths with suicides.
And if you're gonna die, it's better to get the Windlace than the Ring of Regen. Because it's like the movement speed's a lot better than having like 2 health regen.
In my head it was like Bank Muggle, but
yeah,
that's for sure. That was I remember that being surprisingly close.
Here I would suicide.
Really?
Pudge is one of the heroes did you play in the meta where people would just pick Skywrath, and then bolt somebody like 6 or 7 times and then suicide to Ancients and then TP mid again? And
that sounds great, but no, I didn't.
Yeah, that's because the death timer was like 6 seconds at level 1.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
So they would just they would sit here, bolt the guy, bolt the guy, suicide, TP back, do it again. But what they did to counter that was they made it so your death timer by neutral creeps is 26 seconds, regardless. And that matches up with your level 6 death timer. So the thing with Pudge is, fuck that, I have Rot. I don't care about any of your patch notes. When you suicide with Rot, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah. So like right now, you could be rotting and then piecing out. You denied yourself, so I guess that's fine.
This is sad.
You made space.
Yeah, I remember just last. This was the first game I played today.
Okay.
I remember now. Oh, I was having some banter with Zeus. We were just like joking around in team chat. He was like, "You hook me, Ruin."
I would have taken that. I think that was a kill if you. I guess he didn't have mana, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But here it's
For clarity.
My thing with the wand pickup is Raindrop is just so fucking good right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So you would be getting.
Even think about it.
Yeah.
It's not even good against this team.
Well, it's just like in general, the 50% more health regen, and you can use 4 of the blocks from the Raindrop and make it into your urn, which is ridiculously good.
I need to stop doing that shit. That's the thing. It's like, I know this shit. I just need someone to tell me.
Yeah.
So that my brain remembers it as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like, alright, if this guy is the top 300 in America or whatever, and he's saying it's wrong, then it's definitely wrong. Whereas if you say it's wrong, you might not know that it's, like, actually wrong.
Yeah, it's a good... I've seen it. He was just like screaming down the mic, like, "Pudge, oh my god, you are my best friend."
Gotcha. Yeah. And now you're probably gonna play stupid because you want him to keep saying shit. I got you. It's, it happens when you play Pudge. Alright, so that's good. I want to look back. Something I forgot to check up on. I'm gonna fast forward so we can look at all of it on the.
I think at the start here I was thinking Lion's kind of an idiot. I'm gonna try and game because he's squishy, but I definitely overstayed.
Well, it's okay. It's not that you were in the wrong place. It's that I think you were just doing it wrong.
That's absolutely,
because this is, aside from ganking Ember, this is where you want to be.
This was not good. I know this.
Well, the thing is that also the Clockwerk doesn't have the abilities that, like, if he had battery assault, it would be a lot different.
Just curious, where do you primarily play Clockwerk? Just offline?
I play position 4, like 95% of my games, so that's where I play Clockwerk. We can go over one of my replays also if you want, so you can like understand how to roam him, because a lot of people don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Here I'd be like, alright, the bounty rune's coming up soon, and then I'd just like back off, which is kind of what you do, but like you'll also try and you don't like. You have no business being here,
No,
and if you
this is the dumbest thing. Like,
but you understand
I'm
that.
so
So
watched this 5 times.
the thing is, you should have just backed like 10 seconds sooner and got to that bounty rune, and then you would have got both of them. And then I would be like, all right, wait 1 sec. Alright, your disruptor gets the other one. If the disruptor didn't get the other one, I'd be looking to TP top because you're not really doing too much bottom.
I remember specifically being like, what the fuck am I doing TP here, and it was too late.
Yeah.
I don't... You know, it's like... I can't really tell if I'd get better gradually, because I feel like I've got a lot of stuff going on in my life right now, and I'm not playing Dota as much. And I feel like I'm not taking it as seriously, or I'm tired, but I'm improving.
Yeah.
Or maybe.
I mean, with having a coach, it helps a lot, because not only are you having like a trusted source of its advice, but you're also paying the money and sitting down with a guy for an hour just to literally get better at the game. So it's kind of like, even if I was a horrible coach, it would still help you a lot.
I never expected to have paid for a coach, but here I am, because I came to that realization of what you just said.
Yeah. And then here, the thing that I wanted to point out is you need to be on the opposite side of the creeps the whole time.
I was thinking that.
Okay.
At the time.
And then you do it at the end, but it's like, you probably took 40 damage from the neutrals that the Invoker didn't take, so that's an 80 health swing right there. And the only reason...
that's why it was closer than I expected.
Yeah, and how much is...
I just thought I'm a dumbass and taking the creeps, whoops.
Yeah, and if he had extra mana, he could have like Sunstriked you there and won that fight. And then yeah, suicide here. Or yeah, this is fine. This is fine. I would be going for the bounty runes here. But your Clockwerk's going for it, so it's fine, I guess. This is all fine. The thing that I rewinded to look at was your priority of bounty runes, which is very important, because if you fall too far behind as a Pudge, you're just kind of like fucked.
Yeah. I feel like I did spend a long time trying to decide on which heroes to spam, because I wanted a hero that's fun and effective, but... Dude,
Clockwerk is the funnest fucking hero.
Exactly. I don't know how I didn't see it. I think I saw him as like a duller Pudge, but I don't know why I'm warming up to it the way you put it.
Do you want to watch one of my games as Clockwerk so we can like give you an idea of what's actually shit.
Like, what I think will help me the most is either watching somebody who's good describing everything they're doing, like, I'm gonna go here now because I see this opportunity.
Alright,
The other thing that I think could make me better is someone watching me live in a game saying, or if I say, okay, what should I be doing now? Like, what do you think is my best play right now? That's what is that's what I've been dreaming of for about a week. Like,
I got you. My thing, my perspective with with coaching a live game is it's usually worse because you're focusing 80% on the game, and then I only have the 20% left to talk with you about. But if we are going to do a live game, it would be a turbo game because that gives us time in like an hour or an hour and a half to play the game and then also go over the replay after. But another way to do it where you don't have to pay for me to watch you play the entire game and throw out like a few little comments is like right after you finish a game we can go over it. So it's still fresh in your mind and you know that we're going to coach it, so you play it seriously, but we also don't have me sitting there for an hour throwing out like a few key things, whereas if we're just going over the replay I can shoot out one after another, and I can run through the skips or the pauses and all that. So here, this is like I'm doing the same thing as you, but I'm doing it a lot more strategically. And I know that they only have the Sand King stun, and I have boots. So this guy, I can outrun him. This guy will get maybe one stun off, and then like the Chikira's probably bottom, and then the rest are top. So, here, if we find anyone, we're gonna kill them. Whereas, if you found them with Pudge, you are, like, more likely to die than you were to get the kill. And the build's basically the same on Clockwerk. Tranquil's earn 1 sometimes. And then I popped my battery assault, and that guy was spinning, so I know my thing's not going to go on him. So I go on the Sand King, we finish off the Juggernaut anyways. And then I don't go bottom because I don't do anything to Juggernaut. The only way I do anything to Juggernaut is if I'm like laning against him, and I cogs his mana down to 0, and then go on him. Because if I battery assault, just like right here, if he spins, then he wins the trade. And I can't really do anything against Puck, and I also can't really do anything against Pangolier, because he also has a Blink-esque spell. But I have more that I can do here. This guy wants experience more than anything, so I'd be draining his experience. And these guys don't really care too much. So if I drain experience here, it's not too bad. We just want to make sure the Luna gets her farm. And I can kind of zone this guy. If he uses his Swashbuckler at the early levels, that means for 20 seconds he's vulnerable. And if I just stand right here while his Swashbuckler, whatever the fuck it is, if that thing's on cooldown and I stand right here, he can't come up here and get experience or anything. So that's my reasoning of what's happening right now. And also, the Jakiro is one of my buddies, so I'm probably going to be...
I feel like the Pango is a total dumbass if he uses it at all. Like, I would never do that.
Yeah.
So if you know there's even a roller at all.
Well, he used it really well this game. Yeah, he used it only defensively, really.
I think I've played Pangler like 4 times today.
Yeah, I haven't played him too much. He's fun as shit.
It's not great in position, I don't think.
I wanted to play him as position 4 when he came out, but I don't think it works too well. And then here, I know that he can always just swashbuckle away, so I'm holding my battery assault.
Yeah.
Because he was also probably waiting for me to use my battery assault so he can just go away and waste 100 of my mana. I assumed he took it, but why not check? But we finally get the kill. I missed my cogs, feels bad. I'm trying to sit on this side so that if the Luna and the AA go on him, then if this guy swashbuckles to get away from them, then I can like catch him with my battery assault and cogs. And then, yeah. And now we push him this way, so we can just run him out of the lane the whole time.
Through cogs, you know, that's one of the rare interactions that I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, can you
he can
fly over them without getting...
Yeah, I think he just did. Did he? I'm pretty sure you can swashbuckle over cogs and not get hit. And you can shield crash over cogs, but you do get hit from it.
It's weird that.
Yeah.
Weird. Because the shield crash is like kind of like Firefly.
Yeah, a little bit. And then he fucks up his jump here, and we get the kill. But yeah, so if I looked at all of the lanes, like, does it make sense why I went top here instead of the other lanes? Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, if I were in your position in this game, I would look at the team and I'd be like, who's vulnerable? Kind of nobody, because Pangolier can blink away, Puck face all the way, Jug can go magic.
Yeah, it's
like hard.
Yeah.
Yes, Pangolin. I would probably just be lingering around, wondering where to go, taking a bit of XP, waiting for some opportunity.
Yeah, I understand.
The opportunity is not always on my lane, so then I just wander around and I'm like, oh well, I kind of wasted some time.
Well, it's just kind of like bottom is so clearly not gonna work, for me.
I feel like an old man that can't learn, because back when I used to play, roamers weren't really a thing.
Back in the good old days?
It's like, what, 2014, I think, when I stopped playing at the end. And roamers, like, wasn't a common position.
I got you.
And it's like coming back, it's like, how am I bad at roaming? I didn't used to be bad at anything. I mean, relatively.
Yeah. Well, roaming is one of those positions that your objective is not clearly defined. Like,
that's exactly it.
Position 1, 2, and 3 have their own lanes, and then position 5 is usually babysit the position 1. And then position 4, it's just kind of like, do whatever the fuck you can with whatever's left.
I'm drawn to that role because, the typical state of solo matchmaking is just everyone kind of wants to do their own thing. People don't always work together. Sometimes people are toxic. You kind of want to babysit everyone and be where you need to be, which is fine. I think it's what I like to do. But I do feel like I'm often helpless because I don't see the opportunities.
Yeah.
But
I think it's one of the hardest roles to get into, because it's just, you have to, for me to figure out what I have to do this game, I have to look at all of the lanes and see what they look like with me and without me. So I have to look at 3 lanes as they are with me, and then I also have to look at what the late game is going to look like if I also go to those lanes. So I'm considering 9 different, more than 9. I have to consider 6 things of 3 of which are what the lane's going to look like without me, 3 of which are what the lane's going to look with me, and then I have to consider what the Luna and the AA's late game's going to be like if I show up, what the Pangolier's late game's going to look like if I show up, what the Quap's late game's going to be like if I show up, the Juggernaut, the Sand King, the Jakiro, the Beastmaster. Like, if I show up to the Beastmaster's lane, I'll probably get him killed, or at the very best, I'll just sap his experience. And I won't affect these guys late game at all. If I go mid, the only way that I actually do anything is if the Puck uses his orb to farm. So the only reason that I would go mid is if I just killed top, or if for some reason top is like uncontestable. Like if the creeps are under his tower, I'm not going to really be doing anything, so that's an opportunity for me to go mid and see if the Puck might throw out an orb, because that's like, even though that's not a good thing to be doing, there's a 20% chance he does that, and then I can like kill him, or I can sit here and wait for the Pangolier's wave to push out for like a minute or whatever and have 0% chance of doing anything. So there's a lot that you have to consider when you want to play position 4 and not feel lost. And here, he uses his orb, I think. Yeah, he used his orb right there, and then I was like, alright, this guy's dead. And here's another small thing with Clockwerk, is he phase shifts here. But while he's phase shifting, I attack this cog, because that will, at this point, if he gets hit by a cogs, he's guaranteed to be dead. So this kind of just, like, baits him to make a mistake. And then I see the Sand King's mid.
How did you hit the cog? Please explain that back again.
If I hit the cogs, the puck isn't gonna... So, imagine the puck is in here with me right now. If he's phase shift, I can't really do anything to him. And he wants to run back to his base. So if I just hit this, then he'll hit one of these two when he's running out. And it was towards the end of the cogs. So the cogs were gonna go away anyways. And like, let's say there's a second and a half of cogs left. I'd rather have him hit a cogs and run out of the cogs than stay in the cogs for another 1.5 seconds, because the knockback of the cogs does the 80 damage and the 80 mana burn, and it's a 0.85 second knockback. So it's just like, if I destroy this cogs, he's more likely to be stupid and run into one of these and stun himself. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Alright. And then here, I know the Sand King's mid, so I can go bottom, and then make the Sand King go bottom, and then I can, like, leave and go somewhere else. Or I can try and do something the whole time he's gone. I don't really have mana, so I'm not too helpful right now. So I decide to leave. I think does she come bottom? I don't know. I guess I just stay and I wait for the bounty runes because I don't really have any mana. And then I die because I wanted to kill him because he's one of my buddies. And then I see this. The guy's low, he's dragging all these creeps, he's vulnerable. If I can harass him right now, I'm hoping that he doesn't pop the shrine, but he does. And if I could have easily, if he didn't shrine, either kill him or at least push him off an entire creep wave. And then this is just easy game. Then I see him again, he's low, he's probably also low on mana, so if I can force him to do anything, he has to go back as opposed to staying and sapping experience.
You know what? I was just thinking, seeing how a high level player would play against lower players, say on a Smurf for example, because it's hard to see when you've only ever played in your bracket.
Yeah, I got you.
How a good player would play against those players.
The thing is, with me personally, is I tried to not do that because I'm very, like, I play to the level of the game, so if I play with lower level people, then for my next, like, 5 or 10 games, I'll be in the mindset of, like, doing stompy, stupid shit like that.
Exactly.
So, I think this will be good, though, seeing some of this and then me commenting on your games. I think that will be definitely enough. And then here's a little thing, if somebody's TPing in, you can guarantee the knockback. And then I get out. My Luna's kind of fucked. All I could do is cogs for her, so I just stay a little bit for that. I let her get the bounty rune because she's more important than me. I get my rain droplet first, basically always, because the other two just like don't really do as much. And one thing to consider is, I think you might have done it in your game. If you get the circlet and the recipe, you can get and fly it out. You can get the ring of protection at the side shop, kind of like old Battle Fury. You would get the you would get the claymore from your base,
Yeah.
and then get the broadsword from base or the side shop, and you'd get it like a minute sooner.
Only time I use that now is Helm on Lycan and get the haste, fly the career out and get the haste from the side shop.
Gotcha.
What's the haste?
Yeah, it's good on I do it a lot on Earn, and then this guy just used his orb, so I'm going on him. But I was actually surprised he made this play, and he lives because I guess good players do good things sometimes. And another thing to consider is around like 7, 8, or 9 minutes, I like to look at what my experience is, and then start considering more heavily experience-based actions. So
Yeah.
going to somewhere that'll like give me more experience essentially, because I want to be as close to being level 6 off of the tome as possible.
Yeah.
And especially in this lineup, if I can get my 6 before level 10 or before 10 minutes, then my AA can get the tome, but that doesn't happen, so I have to get the tome. I think I get it. Yeah. And here is something that's really important. What do you think happens here?
You could just one and TP out.
Yeah.
You'd probably survive if you didn't Dream Coil, and I think you used it already, right?
Yep. And then I get a shit talk at the end, I think.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm surprised you picked that up.
Yeah. I was just trying to remember. The only reason I paused was trying to remember if you used Dream Coil. It's hard to watch fast.
Yeah, I got you. And it's at my pace, so it's kind of like. And then here's another small thing with this specific interaction. If I timed this better, I could have. This guy phase shifts, or he jumps out right after. But if I got those cogs, he would have been knocked back for long enough that he wouldn't have been able to jaunt for his orb. And that's one way that you can play against Puck. And then that was just some goon-ass shit. And this is a good thing to think about a lot when you only have one charge. Move at your backpack. Because you don't really want to use one charge and then have to pay 225 more gold or whatever. So do you have any questions so far? We're towards the end of the time, but we have a little bit more.
I think you covered a lot in this game.
Yeah, and I have
that's the thing. It's just learning how people who are better than me think, like minute to minute.
Yeah.
That's why I need.
And it's super overwhelming the first few games that you do it. The thought process that I explain to you, but it's the more you do it, the more second nature it comes. Like with tread switching, you do it for 10 games, you lose the first 6, and then you like go 50-50 on the last 4. But then for the rest of your Dota career, you have like a 2% higher win rate just because you tread switch or whatever.
Yeah.
And then here, I know this guy can just jump away, so I go on the Jakiro. And because he's my friend, so I have to kill him.
What do you build after this?
4 staff almost always.
Why? Almost always.
4 staff is really great because it allows you
For
to.
sure.
Yeah, especially as a position 4.
Yeah.
Because you can hook into somewhere that you don't want to be, and then cogs, and then force out.
I even almost always go it on Pudge, and it's obviously not even as good as on Clockwerk, but it's funny how they're so similar in the items they build.
Well, I personally don't build 4 staff on Pudge like almost at all. most of the times that I get it is because there's a compelling reason to get it. Like, they have a Clockwerk usually. That's like, if they have a Clockwerk and I'm a Pudge, I usually do that because he just has a million ways to fuck with me. And if I get stuck in a battery assault cogs, I'm probably dead. Because, whatever. And I can, instead of having to hook people out of cogs, I can just force staff them, which essentially allows me to have a second hook of sorts. And the regen's pretty good.
I tend to wonder what to buy after those kind of items. Like, the mid to late game on a hero like this, I'm like, well, what do I need? It's kind of utility stuff. I just end up getting like Halberd or something because they have a carry or whatever. I always struggle. If you were to ask me now, what do you think you buy after the 4-staff? I have no fucking clue. I have no idea.
The thing with Clockwerk is the build is pretty standard. I like to... Wand is the only like variable, but usually I get Tranquils and Urn in whatever order, depending on the game.
Yep.
And then after I get an Urn, I like to get another Windlace on any hero that I build the Urn, usually, because you can eventually build it into the Spirit Vessel, so it's just nice to be able to... it allows you to get away with buying a Windlace just to have a Windlace. And then 4-staff is almost always... And then Aghanim Scepter is almost always, because it allows you to contribute to the fight more and more. It gives you like 400 health or whatever, but it also allows you to hook and then run away and then get back into the fight later. As opposed to, if you don't have Ags, you kind of just hook cogs, run away, and then like hopefully like catch out a support on their own. But aside from that, other items here. We can look at my recent games and see. Actually, let me see if I have a Night Stalker games. Night Stalker is one of the better heroes to look at for build diversity because he's so independent of items. Of course, I just get a fucking axe. I think this game. Usually, I go Arn on this guy. I think. Oh, though, yeah, this guy got it. Okay. Here. We're gonna go through.
I've always watched a lot of the good players playing, but it's like in higher brackets, games are over too quickly to see what they build.
Yeah.
Like in my bracket, everything goes on to 50 minutes, and it's like at 35 minutes, I don't know what the fuck I'm building with the Pudge.
Yeah. With Pudge,
obviously it's always situational, but
yeah.
I don't even have a vague idea. Just kind of, like I said, halberd lol.
Right. So, one of the things with this is, this is one of the games where I had a compelling reason to change my build, and it was this guy. If this guy dies, we're not too worried about anything else. Like, the TA, like, might do something, but if I can completely shut this guy down with one item, and then, like, silence her or whatever, we're pretty good. So I went for the Spirit Vessel. I almost always go Spirit Vessel first, no matter what position I'm playing if they have a Huskar. Because it's just kind of like, if he ults and then you Spirit Vessel him, he just kind of dies because he's in your team and he's getting 70% less healing. Plus, if he ults, if you use it before he ults, he takes it off. So if he's good, he'll play around that. And then I go the Halberd, because the only way that they really do anything is through right clicks. And then from there, I get the Ags. And that game, I couldn't really go in and right click anyone, because I'll get like X'd, or I'll get coconutted and stuck, or I'll just fucking get annihilated by one of these guys. So I don't even bother with the phase boots.
There needs to be a cosmetic that's a coconut instead of a skull.
I think there is one.
I hope so.
This game, do I do anything special? Earn? Nope, nothing really. This is kind of the default. If nothing compelling is happening, I'll usually go Earn, Ags, gem on Night Stalker. Alright, that one sucks too. Let's look at Earth Spirits. I got no items there, lol.
It seems like all you playing is pretty much the kind of role that I'm looking at, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Happy coincidence.
I
mean, I've always been a position 1 player because I played a lot with my real life friends back in the day. And
yeah, 100 years ago.
yeah, that's just how it had to be. Like, I was just better because I played more.
Yeah, I gotcha.
They didn't know how to. These days, it's like I just want to climb solo and I want to pick what we need.
Yeah. So this game, I go for the Blink Dagger because if I can blink and then like do my combo on this guy, it's the best bet. If I like try to roll on him, I might go through like March and just die. Because you soak up like everything you run through when you you roll, and then I get the Yules because it's another good way to cancel him. It can take off the silence. The mana regen's pretty nice, and then because they have a ton of AoE through this guy, and this guy, Blade Mail is super good. When they have unavoidable spells that they cast, Blade Mail's a lot better. And then he gets a sheep stick, so I end up getting a Lotus, so he can't perma-hex anyone. Yeah. It doesn't take off the hex anymore, but it's still...
You know, not in my bracket, no one buys Lotus, no one buys Meteor Hammer and Disc.
Oh, nobody buys either of those in mine. They buy Lotus some, but Meteor Hammer's just a shit item right now, I think. The only heroes that I think might be good on are Jakiro. Because he can solo split push. He gets spell amp damage. He gets or talent. Where is he?
I've heard people saying it might be alright on back ready.
Yeah, because he can lasso and then he just has to stand there anyways. But this guy gets the spell amp, so and how he works is all of his tower damage is liquid fire, which is only once every 5 seconds.
Did the Lotus Orb does it purge? I did not know that.
Lotus Orb?
It's basic dispel, yeah. But just is that why you say it doesn't purge hex anymore, because they've made hex undispellable?
Yeah, it's it used to take off Lotus, or it used to take off sheep stick. But yeah, they changed sheeps so that like no matter what you do, you can't get out of it. So like Slark can't dark pact out of sheep, which is like this guy's like kind of shit right now if you
Everyone
don't want to pick him.
Slark, but in my bracket, it doesn't matter. People are like, oh, don't pick Slark. He's dead now, but no one gets hex.
Yeah, it's just kind of. He's situationally still fine. Like, if the enemy team can't pick up a sheep stick, it doesn't matter. But like, if they can like last pick like Lion or Shadow Shaman, and you just get hexed, from 10 minutes in the game, you're gonna have a very hard time playing the game. Yeah. Unless you get some like goony shit like a disc, or something like that. I don't know.
You know, I have played for about 6 months, almost every day, and I've never seen anyone buy a disc once, not once.
I've seen it like twice.
I've never bought it. I've literally haven't seen it.
I think it's gonna need it needs a lot more changes before it's good. It's just kind of like it's health and it's where is it? Where you at, you bitch? I don't even know where it is. Like in here, it's right there. It's like this isn't obvious enough for people to like feel it, and then this is like exactly. Zeus ults, and then your fucking 100-second cooldown, and then the stats are just like, all right, well, I got like 2 bracers worth of health for 3,300 gold. But yeah, so do you have any final questions or anything? I think we should wrap it up here.
I don't think so. It's good.
Alright, I'm going to stop the recording then.